Welcome everybody to another Empire War video. I wasn't planning to make this video today, but well, here we are now. Anyways, getting right into this. We got an interesting topic to talk about today. So for starters, we're approaching the 2-year mark of my journey on YouTube of making Empire War videos, and I've had an absolutely amazing time doing it so far. However, there comes a point where we have to understand that Empire at War is currently almost 20 years old, and the content for the game is pretty much just mods at this point. Obviously, they haven't had any really big updates for the game in a long time, which is fine because these Empire War modders are some gods on Earth when it comes to development. They beat most modern day studios hands down on their development standards. However, with that said, we do have to bring up this topic, which is that eventually there will be no more content for Empire at War. Is that what you thought this video was about? Get out of here! We're here with a new announcement from the devs of Awakening of the Rebellion, announcing the 3.0 update. Obviously, it's still in progress. However, they've given us a full overview of an entire update to basically remake Awakening of the Rebellion into an entirely new mod. Because of course they have. Alright, anyways, we have a lot to cover today, because of course we do. And there's nothing small when it comes to these guys' standards. They always go above and beyond on all of these. And I thought the big updates for like the larger map, the like entire second mod, were insane, but apparently they're still not done making crazy changes to the game. And well, we're here today to talk about them because, well, basically they're just gonna say, you know what, we kind of cooked with Awakening of the Clone Wars, so you know what, why don't we do the same with Awakening of the Rebellion and just make it an entirely new mod? So anyway, we're just gonna get right into the little release messages they sent on the Discord. If you guys are not already in their Discord, highly recommend you go join that. Any information they post will be posted there first, and then obviously I'll probably throw it up on my channel in some format of a video eventually. Though I occasionally don't, so you know, if you don't want to miss the little segments that are too small for a video, you better go join the Discord. Also, be sure to tell the mod devs how great they are at doing this, because I gotta be honest, after reading this, I'm so hyped already. It's like a Clone Wars like 2.0 already. After the release and fixing of Awakening of Clone Wars, we are pleased to announce that work on Awakening of the Rebellion 3.0, A New Hope, has been started and is progressing nicely. After we got a fresh mind with Clone Wars mod, we noticed a few things about Awakening the Rebellion that we want to change to get the feel back to how it once was. Additionally, we will be backporting some of our new game mechanics. Okay, it says like some, and then they proceed to list basically every major change they've done in the Clone Wars mod. Starting off with my personal favorite change, the fact we're getting the diplomacy and independent pirate takeovers in Awakening the Rebellion. That is absolutely amazing. Even if they don't even give it to the Empire, even if it's just given to the pirates and, like, I forgot the faction name, Rebels. It's in the name, and I forgot the Rebels. My mind just went completely blank after reading this, I'll be honest. It's too insane. So yeah, and just the fact that, like, the Rebels and pirates would be able to do independent and pirate takeovers is absolutely insane. Like, think of it this way. If the Rebels, who are currently a little too un-rebel-like, they don't really feel like the Rebels because they don't have any unique mechanics that make them feel like the underdog trying desperately to gain any advantage they can, gets the mechanic to say, Princess Leia, go to planet A over here and negotiate with the local government to request supplies for the Rebel Alliance. That sounds exactly what you would expect. It fits too well, and I was worried they weren't going to do it, because like a week ago or something, or a few days ago, Mr. President jumped in the call, or I was jumped in the call, and he was there, and he's like, hey, what's one thing about Awakening of the Clone Wars you're looking forward to seeing in Awakening of the Rebellion? And I'm like, oh, obviously the backporting of all the like new features and stuff. And he's like, oh, well, we're not gonna be backporting probably all of them. So, you know, there's a chance it might not be like in there. And I went, oh. And immediately my brain's going, but I like diplomacy. So I threw a sabotage thought, and I'm like, all right, well, another thing I'm looking forward to then is hero traits. But I didn't tell him I was disappointed about not having the mechanics added. And now here we are, and we don't have to worry about that anymore because, well, it's here. It's being added. We're also getting the event system, so that's the random pop-up events. It's like, hey, do you want to promote some guy to like an admiral or a ground commander? You get like that, those like type of pop-up missions too. I'm sure they're gonna have their own versions for the Awakening Rebellion mod instead of just the Clone Wars one, because, well, it's a different era. But the fact we're getting all those mechanics added to Awakening the Rebellion, which is already awesome just by itself, is exactly what I was hoping for. And obviously they did say here some changes to pre-existing mechanics as well, because of course they're not done. They have to revamp everything they can when they redo things, because these guys don't know how to slow down. So yeah, after going basically over the fact that they're adding all of the cool mechanics from Awakening the Clone Wars, we're also going to get the hero trait system and an expansion to the minor hero roster to include additional combat options and deeper use of non-combat heroes. Because, like I said, they took the saying "go big or go home" and decided that there was no home, but they just went they're gonna move to the moon. Because like, how is this like, how are they doing this already? Like, they just finished one and they're like, all right, let's redo the whole other one to match this one now. So yeah, hopefully this means we're going to get some really cool ground heroes for the Empire in particular, because I'll be honest, I'm kind of sick of having to use Folek as my only decent ground commander, besides obviously Vader, because 80% of the Empire's ground heroes are just vehicles. Like, you have 2 ground heroes that aren't like useless, and then you have one like Imperial army trooper group, who I would love to say is not useless, but let's be honest, the Imperial army troopers are kind of just cannon fodder at this point. So yeah, you basically had the 501st with Vader, and that was the entire ground army of the Empire, which really didn't feel that great. So of course the devs are like, yeah, you know what, let's just fix that, and we're gonna go over that a little bit later when we cover the actual Empire changes, because there are changes to each faction. Anyways, let's finish up the overview before we get into that. So besides these bigger items, we will of course also backport the new maps, or adjusted maps, from Awakening the Clone Wars. So we're gonna get some of the older maps probably revamped or replaced with the Awakening the Clone Wars maps that have been obviously playtested and bug fixed a lot. So they're gonna be perfect hopefully when we get them, or at least a lot better than some of the bugs that a lot of people are probably currently experiencing. So yeah, look forward to that. I am already excited because I'll be honest, some of the new maps are just absolutely insane. Also, I don't even know. I have a problem. I don't even know what half of the new maps are, if they are new for the Clone Wars or not, because I haven't played Awakening the Rebellion in like half a year before the Clone Wars came out. So when this update comes out, it's going to be a good day. I'm going to be as equally as hyped for this as I was for the Clone Wars. I can already tell, because when I first saw this announcement, I was so hyped. Like, we're making this video. That's why, you know, if I'm making a video on the reaction to this thing, you've got to understand that is the level of excitement here. So anyways, before I ramble on for another 2 hours, they're going to also polish up the older unit models. So obviously things like, I think, what's it called? The MC 80B, is that it? It's the, like, New Republic ship. If you guys remember seeing that when we did the Republic playthrough, well, New Republic playthrough on Awakening the Rebellion, the thing kind of looks like a soggy piece of coral that's been in the ocean for 100 years. Things like those would probably be getting a new model or an updated model, which is absolutely amazing, because of course it is. It's the Awakening Rebellion devs. They just make everything better. Yeah, so they're gonna obviously fix a lot of those. Let's see, getting back to restoring the original feel, we have decided on these rough goals. So we're getting into the big changes now. Even though I said earlier that they were like, oh, these are the bigger items. No, these for me are the big changes. These are faction-specific, entire revamps of the factions to make them feel a lot more unique. Because let's be honest, if you play at Awakening Rebellion currently, all three factions are basically capital ship spam. That's basically all it is. Rebels kind of can do fighter spam instead of capital ship spam, but at the end of the day, most of the time late game is just going to be a bunch of capital ships. So, number one, the first one. Make the Rebel Alliance feel more like an underdog early game as opposed to a proper military force. For achieving this goal, some units, check, have been changed, and the early vehicle roster of the Rebel Alliance is now mostly made up of modified combat speeders. That alone might sound like not much unless you played the Rebels currently, and you would understand that basically the Rebels feel incredibly, like, unlike a Rebel Alliance. They basically just feel like a weaker version of the Empire rather than as the Rebel Alliance. And I gotta be honest, this might be the change I'm most excited for seeing, because if they, like, you probably guys have seen it as a Rooster did it, whereas he made his series like on the really hard Awakening of the Rebellion mod. I'm assuming they're aiming more for something like that, whereas the Rebel Alliance has to rely a lot more on mechanics to advance and achieve goals in the galaxy than brute military force, because, well, they didn't have all these special features when they were doing that, so they had to just go, well, you need military force because, well, you just lose to the Empire because there's no mechanics to balance this out. Well, we'll have the diplomacy feature now, so you actually can balance this out and actually be like, all right, so we're getting free supplies from over here, or we're getting credits from over here, instead of just having to deploy those, like, what were they? The envoys. The envoys. Those pests. Anyways, yeah, so that is really exciting, especially the idea that we're gonna have a lot of modified combat speeders. That would be really cool. Just have a bunch of really light guns, and all they're really good for is taking on light Imperial vehicles and infantry. And basically, the idea that you would have to actually fear an AT-AT in the early game is really exciting to think about. And in space, even more so, having the Rebels rely even more on fighter tactics, as the MC-80s and Dauntlesses take more effort to unlock now. That means that they're probably locking them behind some tech or maybe a story event or something, which is really nice, because let's be honest, most people are just like, Dauntless Rush, alright, now I have Dauntlesses, and basically I just gotta beat the Empire up in straight-on head-to-head battles now. Unless you played like me and just let the Empire do what they feel like for like 30 weeks and then got steamrolled for the rest of the campaign. But we're not talking about that. We're on to intelligent players who actually decided to play the game instead of just goofing off in one corner of the map. So yeah, this was going to give the Rebels a lot more difficulty in the early game, but they have a much greater counterpart to prevent them from just feeling absolutely garbage, which is give the Rebels more options for asymmetric warfare. Right now, the Rebels play pretty similar to the Empire, but have a greater focus on raiding. With independent takeover and diplomacy, we want to give the player more options to take over planets or gain the upper hand over the Empire. Like I just said, basically, they want the Empire to feel like the Empire, and they want the Rebel Alliance to actually have to feel like the Rebel Alliance and struggle and have to beg for resources from other places, because that's what the Rebel Alliance did. He didn't just, you know, show up to the battle on, like, Coruscant with, like, 25 Dauntlesses after, like, a year into the war. That didn't happen. The Rebel Alliance was lucky to have one capital ship in the entire, like, galaxy at a time. That's the one I want to see. And obviously, the devs seem to be trying to take that standpoint as well. So there's definitely going to be very few capital ships. Because, like, currently, I think you start with, like, 3 capital ships as the Rebels. 3! Like, that's a lot. That's just off the top of my head. You got like an MC-80 in the top, you got Home 1, and then you got Shaq. That's 3 capital ships that you start with. The Rebels had like none of that. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how this is going to pan out. It will be interesting to see how they can balance the AI in this thing, because obviously the AI won't take advantage of these mechanics as well. But it'll be something. I really hope they manage to get it so that the AI doesn't spam capital ships. It just spams a bunch of like frigates and cruisers or something, because I think that'd be even cooler. having to fight like an army of frigates, cruisers, and corvettes. And obviously, the like mob of fighters will have to continue. So yeah, that's the rebels. Next up, we have the Empire. And the Empire has some awesome things here. So, first things first, make the Empire weaker to fighters. This has to be done. Because right now, basically you upgrade fighter tech and you unlock the advanced loadouts, and that's all you do for the Empire for the rest of the game. There's nothing else to do. Your ships are already done. You've already upgraded all of your like fighters as much as you need. Everything else is just extra bloat. Because you unlock advanced loadouts that contain TIE interceptors, and that is basically all the anti-fighter you need for most of the game. And you can even build TIE Avengers, so, you know, basically the rebels just die, especially when the AI doesn't know how to build mass numbers of them. So it's like, well, they only have 6 groups of X-Wings, and I have 2 groups of TIE, like, interceptors, and then 4 TIE Avengers, and, well, there goes all the AI's fighters. We have moved some of the units into later techs, and some units even got cut completely. So I am not sure what they're going to do about these units cut completely. I'm assuming that means something like a special, like, say, like the TIE Avenger got cut as an individual buildable unit. It means you won't be able to build squadrons of them. They might be a special mission reward option or something. Or maybe you have to complete, like, some objective to, like, unlock a certain amount of them or something. Or maybe they even just put them as a build limit of, like, you only get 5, because that would be, you know, a lot more realistic for the Empire going, we don't want to have mass of these, we prefer just big ships all over the place. So anyway, the Empire now has a deeper focus on bigger super ships though, and we'll have a few new options available. I'm actually going to throw up the screenshot somewhere around here of what they showed, because they showed one of the new ships, and I never thought I'd see the day of it actually being here. But it well and truly already exists, because the model picture they showed is absolutely gorgeous. Okay, I know I know we're progressing through this really well, but apparently we gotta do a U-turn really quick, because I was just going to look at the screenshots, because I didn't actually look at them too closely. I just kind of read through it and went, oh yeah, we can make a video on this. And then I just looked at the screenshots, and I decided to geek out on them again, because they're absolutely crazy. Thank goodness! I thought the Praetor alone was incredible! Because yes, there's a freaking Praetor! Yes! I thought that alone was going to be crazy, but they also got a screenshot of a bunch, like, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6? I think it's like 5, maybe the 6. Like 6 rebel, like, speeders that are all, like, just, like, refit, like, civilian craft with weapons attached to them. And oh yes, like, come on, like, how could you not want them? They look exactly like what you would hope for. Absolutely terrible at anything besides killing infantry, and maybe really fast at moving around. So if you saw one of my, what was it, like today, maybe it was episode 1 or 2 of our Republic playthrough that we are doing right now. I have one company of these, like, Geon speeders, and they're doing work against the battle droids. They do so much damage. They're even killing, like, the light AATs pretty well. I'll be honest, having things like those as the rebels feels so good, because, like, the current, like, little light tanks that we have as the rebels, there's, like, 1. Which feels so weird for the rebel faction, which is supposed to have like 80 of them. Like, that's all they had. They had a bunch of refit civilian ones, whereas they just attached a turret to the top of them. I can't wait to use these things. We're gonna go around the galaxy. Oh shoot, I'd have like 4 playthroughs going at the same time. Oh, I don't know if I'll be able to hold myself back and only do 1 at a time. And I'll be honest, we got to do the Empire first. It's like, there's not even contest on this. There's no competition at all. That Praetor would be amazing alone. But we're about to get into the next section where I'll throw up the next screenshot, and you'll understand what I mean when I say that we really are not going to be able to doing anything out of the Empire. There's no competition on which one I'm playing first. So anyways, back on to where we were. Make the Empire weaker to fighters. That's what we already covered. The Empire now has options for bigger super ships, though. And new options available, such as the Praetor. I'm assuming we might get maybe another 1 or 2 besides the Praetor. But even if it's just the Praetor, well, it says a few. That's not 1. So yeah. Anyways, if we even just the Praetor alone is cool, because that's another new ship to have. I can't tell if the other things in there are new or not. They look just like standard ISDs and then Victory 1 or 2s. They do look cool, though. I can't tell if they're new models or not, because I haven't, like, looked at Awakening the Rebellion in literally ages besides Shaq's Let's Play. So, yeah. Anyways, let's see. All right, we're on to the stuff I'm very, very excited for. This is the thing that actually, out of everything on this whole page, might be the thing I'm most excited for, because it's something I so desperately wanted this whole time. And you guys, I think I even said it earlier when we were talking about the minor heroes. Focus on the Imperial Special Forces. This is not Special Forces in probably the way you're thinking. This is Special Forces as in the unique branches of the Imperial military. Currently, the Empire doesn't have the insane variety in ground infantry we often see in other media. Exactly! We have 3 options! I need more Stormtrooper variants! I need all of them! I need hundreds! Okay, maybe not hundreds, but I need a lot. I need more than like 3. So anyways, let's go. We want to expand their options when it comes to special infantry, but also limit the amount of these special forces such as shock troopers. I'm really hoping they give us like 1 or 2 variants of the generic stormtrooper besides just, you know, rocket trooper and then like, you know, maybe the heavy squad that I think has the repeating guns. I'm really hoping we get like demolition troopers or something as like a special like buildable unit. It's like, all right, these guys have like, I don't know, seismic charges or whatever it is that you throw on buildings and they do massive damage to them, but they're not special forces as in raiding units that are only good when they're like used in raids because they have like way less number of units in the group. I want like, could you imagine? What if we got shore troopers? What if we get shore troopers? Sounds cool too. There's so many options. Give me them all. I also really hope they, I'll be honest, I really do kind of hope they decide to change their mind about the Navy troopers. Like, we currently have the Navy troopers. I know they're the medics right now. I'm really hoping, devs, I know you listen to this. I know Prez probably definitely is going to watch this. He loves my reaction videos. Yeah, could you consider adding a Navy trooper version of the like basic Imperial like army troopers? Not like a stormtrooper like variant, but like literally the Navy trooper. Like basically think of it as like a upgrade to the like basic army trooper or something. Like it's like the tier 2, not the medic version is what I meant to say, not stormtrooper, not the medic variant, just one that's just the Navy one. For no other reason than roleplay purposes. Because I can tell you right now, both me, Shaq, and a bunch of other YouTubers will be over the moon about having the option to have some very interesting, just generic troops. Not special variants that have really cool things, just generic, different looking units. For nothing other than RP purposes. I know that's not always the focus, but it would be so cool to have that. Because if you remember the Battle of Endor, we see them on the ground there, and I want more than just the one group that you get from like a mission reward or like something, or the 2 you start with. I'd like to see them a bit more often, and I think it'd be really cool and an awesome addition to the mod. And yes, it would probably just look like bloat. But you could make them just like a mid-group between like Imperial regulars and Imperial stormtroopers or something in terms of like weaponry. They don't have to be unique or amazing at anything. They just have to be there. Because I'll be honest, my favorite unit in the game in all of the mods is just the generic infantry like stormtroopers. Not like the special versions of them, just the generic one that has no special abilities or anything. That generic group, I love them. I love using them. I don't know why, I just do. They just feel right. And I need more of them. I need more variants of those type of guys. Also, if you consider maybe giving the Empire the mortar troopers so we can counter the frickin' mortars of the rebels that they have in their high tier units, that would be nice, you know. Counter the rebels' free mortars that they have all the time, because those things are freaking obnoxious. And it's like, how do you have mortars but the Empire can't afford them? We own the galaxy. Come on, guys. So yeah, this has to be the thing I'm most looking forward to, especially like with a lot of the unique variants that the Empire has for like special troops. Like they could even add like the Purge troopers or something, or like the not the Purge troopers, but like the no, I guess they could add those too. That'd be a really awesome addition. But like, yeah, some of the units from like fall in order in those ones, like the like electro staff guys, not because they're needed, but just because they're kind of cool. So yeah, anyways, that is I think the thing I'm most looking forward to. I'm also very happy about the change of making shock troopers not be just your generic high tier infantry, because I'll be honest, that really doesn't feel right now. And I think that's probably the best change you could make, is just making the shock troopers their own special unit that is like, you only can have 5 of them or something, and there really are like special like forces tier that are basically only used by the Emperor to go deal with really problematic areas. It's like, all right, guys, we have literal issues over here of somebody directly attempting to attack the Emperor, so he's sending his personal troops to go and annihilate them. Kind of like how we have the Death Trooper limit. I feel like that would be a really nice thing for like the Shock Troopers to be put into the same categories like the Death Troopers, where they kind of built in small numbers because they're not supposed to be all over the map, which is why we could have just generic Stormtroopers as a higher tier unit, just a generic tier 3 Stormtrooper. Like that's like the naval like elite. So yeah, I'll be honest, this is the thing I'm most looking forward to, and that along with the Praetor is why we will be playing as the Empire when this comes out, because in a single post they've like thrown all of my hype into this instantaneously without any, like, I can't even say without any effort. The post was so well written. It has a lot of effort. I don't know who wrote it. It might have been Maxim. He posted it. Either way, whoever wrote it, absolutely amazing job. You put this in a perfect format. It was really easy to follow. We still got more to go over. And right as we are about to wrap this up, I actually had to just take like 4 phone calls. But anyways, we got this picture of what I'm not entirely sure is, it's one of 2 options. It's either an Imperial jump trooper, or what I more think it actually is it looks like a Dark Trooper. It looks like the Battlefront 2 original Dark Trooper, like the really old Battlefront 2. And I'm quite excited to think that if that's happening, the like little jump trooper ones. Because I'll be honest, the current Dark Troopers really need to be fixed. They're kind of terrible, and I'm sure the devs are well aware that the current ones could use some reworking. But yeah, they look really cool. I'm gonna throw the screenshot up of that definitely up right now, so you'll probably be looking at it too. But yeah, things like those basically. I really hope they can get like a ton of these really unique ones, especially if they do it in even more interesting ways, where it's like you can't just build them all at one area. It's like, sorry, you need to go build them where they actually are from. Like maybe you can only get like shore troopers if they add those on Scarif or something, or on like beach planets, because I know there are actually a few more than just Scarif. But yeah, just imagine that, where it's just like, sorry, you need this on this planet. This has the ability to make shore troopers because, well, this has got a shore. I think that'd be awesome if those are like their special features, and those guys get like, I don't know, a bonus on those planets or something. Or just like shore troopers have like, I don't know, 5% extra movement speed because there's this planet is owned, so they have training areas or something there. I think weird things like that would be really awesome, to like little bits of detail. But anyways, that's enough about the Empire, because I will spend literally the next 6 hours talking about different types of stormtroopers. Maybe we'll make another video just on all of the variety of stormtroopers that we could possibly see. And I'll just go through the whole internet and go, well, this is cool, this is cool, this is cool. No, I don't want this one. This is cool. Like I said, I'm gonna stop, or I can't control myself. It's the Empire. They're too awesome. Anyways, on to the Black Sun, which is also gonna have some very interesting mechanics, and it's gonna have a massive nerf, which I think it deserves, because honestly, it's a little too powerful right now at the start. It feels just kind of like the Empire part. It just feels like Empire version 2. Electric Boogaloo. So anyway, streamline the Black Sun mechanics. Currently, there's a ton of mechanics associated with how the Black Sun can build units, unlock heroes, and so on. We want to make the infrastructure a bit simpler and make the faction overall easier to understand. Because if you guys don't know, the Black Sun is basically the most unfriendly faction to any new player, because there's nothing in Star Wars media about them. So you're pretty much instantly unfamiliar with everything about them. Unless you're very into Empire War and actually played the base game, you probably have never even seen this. You probably just watched some other YouTuber play like a mod and go, that looks cool, I want to play that. And yeah, let's just say the Black Sun's also got the really difficult mechanics to actually master once you actually play them, because having a bunch of corruption going all over the galaxy is not exactly a simple mechanism to manage. So having other methods basically to build your influence and such would be really nice, especially when it comes to building units. So anyway, we want to make the infrastructure a bit simpler, make the faction overall easier to understand. Is going to be really nice for new players. Maybe we won't need to have somebody try and make a guide for the entire Black Sun faction. Anyways, though, moving on. Make the Black Sun rely on more smaller ships, or more small ships. That is pretty much a massive nerf to the faction, but it makes so much more sense because, I'm sorry, I don't remember the pirates in Star Wars carrying around a fleet of Venators. When did that happen? They don't roll around with 50 Venators. That's not a thing. Get the frick out of here. They, like, the Black Sun faction in the Awakening Rebellion usually has more Venators in the starting forces than the frickin' Republic does in Awakening in the Clone Wars. It don't make any sense. There's not that many Venators left around. They should have been a, like, bill limited thing. It's like you can have 5. You can have 5 Venators in a whole galaxy. That's all you get. There's no extra. You get 5 of them. Good luck. And they also probably should have been a lot heavier on population cap for the Black Sun. Like, if you want to use a capital ship that was Black Sun, it should cost you a lot. Because there's no way they're maintaining that thing with, like, a small minimum, like, well-rounded, really elite crew. They're going to need to fill that thing with thousands of garbage goons that are doing absolutely nothing than maybe firing the gun. And if you're lucky, maybe 1 in 5 actually does his job properly each time he's on the ship. Is that, you know, this thing is huge. There's not exactly some guy walking around on each floor going, yep, all right, we checked everything here. All right, over there, you guys got to move that over there. That's not really happening on the Pirates one. There are a bunch of guys sitting around getting on their ship. So, anyways, the Mer Cruiser, which I don't actually remember. I'm pretty sure that's that little brown ship that we saw in literally the pirate battles in, like, the last episode or so. Actually, look. Yeah, it is. Okay, so yeah, the Mer Cruiser is going to be no longer tech locked to, I think it's currently tech locked to huts. It's just going to be a buildable unit because it's most probably the Mer Cruiser should be, like, all over the place pretty much because, well, it is one of the more common pirate ships. And it's actually pretty good. Especially the one in the current one, which has a literal, like, what is it? The beam cannon, the SFAT. It has, like, a small mini SFAT cannon. Or whatever that is called on theirs. Anyways. So it's going to have no tech requirement, while both capital ships won't be available on the dockyards anymore, making capital ships as the Black Sun harder to come by. This is a really nice change because it also separates the Black Sun from the Empire in the fact that the Black Sun is one of the only other factions that can basically instant build multiple versions of a capital ship right off the bat. Empire has the Victory and, what's it, the ISD, ISD 1. Are there any others I'm trying to think of? But no, it's just the ISD 1 and the Victory 1 that the Empire has at the start. So yeah, basically Empire has Victory 1, ISD 1 at the start, and then the Black Sun had the Corellian Battlecruiser and a Venator, just buildable on every shipyard. Like, the Rebels, I think, only had access to the Justice at the time. I don't even know if that's still the current one, or if they don't even get that anymore. That might even be, like, Tech 1 or something. No, actually, it's the NC-75. The Emperor Rebels have 2 as well, yeah. So they gotta remove these capital ships, because every faction shouldn't just have 2 capital ships available to start. Like, how are you on pace with the Empire and capital ships? That makes no sense at all. And finally, give the Black Sun the option to integrate passive pirates into their faction with pirate takeover instead of doing pirate on pirate fights. This is insanely cool. Like, imagine it this way. It's basically working the same as a bribe does on the actual battlefield. Like, imagine in the battlefield right now, you have Zan. He has the bribe feature. You go up to, like, the Empire's AT-AT or whatever, and you bribe that thing. And everybody hates you because it's cheesy as heck. Because it instantly just removes one of the, like, strongest weapons the AI has, and you basically instantly win the battle because you can just bribe the entire enemy army. Well, that mechanic sucks. But imagine instead of that, you go over from, like, well, let's just say we're in the Geonosis sector, because I think that's where the Black Sun's most of their stuff is currently. Let's just say you're, like, over there, and you go over to Ord Padron, where we know is notorious for nasty pirates, and I don't remember if the Black Sun starts with it or not, but let's assume they don't. And you go over to the pirates on Ord Padron, and like, hey, I feel like you guys should come join up and integrate into our forces. And they're like, I don't know about that. I kind of like doing what I'm doing over here. I'm making a lot of money over here. So you're like, what if I gave you 5,000 credits? which obviously would be a lot more if it was like the credit balances actually made sense. But let's just say in game 5,000 credits or something, and the planet is like, all right, we're gonna take some time to think about this, but we're strongly considering your opinion or whatever. And then you wait like 5 weeks or something, and it like works or it doesn't work or something. That would be really cool. Obviously, they'll probably have it just like always work or something, but if it doesn't always work, that'd also be an interesting mechanic because it would rely more on luck, which feels a lot more like a pirate mechanic than anything else. But yeah, the idea of basically getting to go around as the Black Sun, and the one I was thinking about, this is the one I had in my mind as a vision that I thought would be insanely cool. You have like the random start, and you have the Black Sun with all of these randomly spaced out worlds. The Empire's randomly spaced out, the Rebels are randomly spaced out. You don't have any core sectors. You just start with Hypori is your only useful planet because you got unlucky. But from Hypori, you and your heroes move around the neighboring sectors, so it has a bunch of random pirate worlds. And you convince them to join up, and you form a massive pirate gang. And your pirate gang then forms into a galaxy-spanning empire, exactly like how the Black Sun is in lore. And it's like, that is exactly what you want to play. You don't want to play as the Empire 2.0, you want to play as the pirates! So I feel like that could be literally one of the most fun things to actually do if they manage to get the Black Sun to actually feel like pirates instead of Empire 2.0. So anyways, guys, that's pretty much going to wrap up my take on all the new stuff. I will throw the actual post probably in the description or in the comment section if you guys wanted to read from it from there, or maybe I'll just throw it up while I'm reading through this whole thing. And yeah, if you guys had any of your own takes on what you're looking forward to after this post, or any ideas you think would be really cool, they do have an ideas channel obviously in the Discord. But, you know, also feel free to leave them in the comments. If I see some of the ones I like, I would be absolutely more than happy to go, you know, tell Mr. President, hey, I think this would be really cool. Somebody mentioned this. What's the possibility we add it? Obviously, there's a guarantee that most of the things I say will not be taken at face value as an actual suggestion. They'll just be like, oh, well, that's cool. But there is a possibility that if they also think it's an awesome thing, that it will get added. So, you know, if you got some awesome suggestions or you want to talk about more about this in the comments, feel free to. I'm more than happy to read all of your ideas, opinions, and thoughts on this. And yeah, that's basically this. I'm going to go record the next episode of the Republic series now. And if you aren't already, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any new content on both of these awesome mods and basically anything else Empire or related that I decide to do in the future. Maybe something else. But yeah, with that, I will see you all again next time.